devotees. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tata Jayam Udirat Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki. Hare Krishna. Today we continue Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 16. How Parikshit received the age of Kali. Shloka number 22 to 24. Kim Kshatra Bandhum Kalina Upasrishtan.
किम क्षत्रबंधून कलीनः उपसृष्टान्
राष्ट्राणि वातैः अवरोपितानि
राष्ट्राणि वा तैरवरोपितानि
इतः ततः वा अशनपानवासः
इतः ततः वा अशनपानवासः
स्नानवेवाय उन्मुख जीवलोकम्
स्नानव्यवाय उन्मुख जीवलोकम्
यद अम्बते भूरि भार अवतार
यत् अव अम्बते भूरि भरावतारः
कृतावतारस्य हरे धरित्री
कृतावरस्य हरे धरित्री
कृत अवतारस्य हरे धरित्री
कृत अवतारस्य हरे धरित्री
अन्तरितस्य स्मरति विसृष्टाः
अन्तहितस्य स्मरति विसृष्टाः
कर्माणि निर्वाण विलम्बितानि
कर्माणि निर्वाण विलम्बितानि
इदं मम आचक्ष्व तव अधिमूलम्
इदं मम आचक्षव तव अधिमूलम्
वसुन्धरे येन विकर्षित असि
वसुन्धरे येन विकर्षित असि
कालेन वाते बलिना बलीयसा
कालेन वाते बलिनाम बलीयसा
सूर अर्चित किं ऋतम् अम्ब सौभगम्
सूर अर्चितं किम ऋतम् अम्ब सौभगम्
किं क्षत्रबन्धून् कलिना उपसृष्टान्
किम क्षत्रबन्धून् कलिन उपसृष्टान्
राष्ट्राणि वा तैः अवरोपितानि
राष्ट्राणि वा तैः अवरोपितानि
इतः ततः वा आशनपाणवासः
इतः तथा वा असानपानवासः
स्नानव्यवाय उन्मुख जीवलोकम्
स्नानव्यवाय उन्मुख जीवलोकम्
यद् अम्बते भूरि भरावतार
यत् वा अम्बते भूरि भार अवतार
कृत अवतारस्य हरे धरित्री
कृत अवतारस्य हरे धरित्री
अन्तर्हितस्य स्मरति विसृष्टा
अन्तहितस्य स्मरति विसृष्टा
कर्माणि निर्वाण विलम्बितानि
कर्माणि वा निर्वाण विलम्बितानि
इदं मम आचक्ष्व तव अधिमूलम्
इदं मम आचक्षव तवधिमूलम्
वसुन्धरे येन विकर्षितासि
वसुन्धरे येन विकर्षितासि
कालेन वाते बलिनां बलीयसा
कालेन वाते बलिनां बलीयसा
सूर अर्चित किं हृत अम्ब सौभगम्
सुर अर्चितं किम हृत अम्ब सौभगम्
किं क्षत्रबन्धुं कलिना उपसृष्टान् राष्ट्राणि वा तैः अवरोपितानि इतः ततः वा आशनपाणवासः स्नानवेवाय उन्मुख जीवलोकम् यद्वा अम्बते भूरि भरावतार कृतावतारस्य हरे धरित्री अन्तरितस्य स्मरति विसृष्टा कर्माणि निर्वाण विलम्बितानि इदं मम आचक्ष्व तव अधिमूलम् वसुन्धरे येन विकर्षितासि कालेन वाते बलिनां बलीयसा सुरार्चित किं ऋतम् अम्ब सौभगम्
किम क्षत्रबन्धून् कलिन उपसृष्टान् राष्ट्राणि वातय अवरोपितानि इतः तथा वाशन पानवासः स्नान अव्याय उन्मुख जीवलोकम् यद्वा अम्बते भूरि भरावतारः कृतावतारस्य हरे धरित्री अन्तर्हितस्य स्मरति विसृष्टा कर्माणि निर्वाण विलम्बितानि इदं मम आचक्षव तव अधिमूलम् वसुन्धरे येन विकर्षितासि कालेन वाते बलिनां बलीयसा सुरार्चितं किं हृत अम्ब सौभगम्.
Translation and purport by the Srila Prabhupada, Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The so-called administrators are now bewildered by the influence of this age of Kali, and thus they have put all state affairs into disorder. Are you now lamenting this disorder? Now the general populace does not follow the rules and regulations for eating, sleeping, drinking, mating, etc. And they are inclined to perform such anywhere and everywhere. Are you unhappy because of this? O Mother Earth, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari incarnated himself as Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa just to unload your heavy burden. All his activities here are transcendental and they cement the path of liberation. You are now bereft of his presence. You are probably now thinking of those activities and feeling sorry in their absence. Mother, you are the reservoir of all riches. Please inform me of the root cause of your tribulation by which you have been reduced to such a weak state. I think that the powerful influence of time, which conquers the most powerful might, have forcibly taken away all your fortune, which was adored even by the demigods. Purport by the Srila Prabhupada, Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. There are some necessities of life on a par with those of the lower animals, and they are eating, sleeping, fearing, and mating. These bodily demands are for both the human being and the animal. But the human being has to fulfill such desires, not like animal, but like a human being. A dog can mate with a beach before the public eyes without hesitation. But if a human being does so, the act will be considered a public nuisance and the person will be criminally prosecuted. Therefore, for the human being, there are some rules and regulations. Even for fulfilling common demand, the human society avoids such rules and regulations when it is bewildered by the influence of the age of Kali. In this age, people are indulging in such necessities of life without following the rules and regulations. And this deterioration of social and moral rules is certainly lamentable because of the harmful effects of such beastly behavior. In this age, the fathers and guardians are not happy with the behavior of their wards. They should know that so many innocent children are victims of bad association avoided by the influence of this Kali, age of Kali. We know from Srimad Bhagavatam that Ajamil, an innocent son of a Brahmana, was walking down a road and saw a Shudra pair sexually embracing. This attracted boy, and later on boy became a victim of all debaucheries from a pure Brahmana. He fell down to the position of a wretched urchin, and it was all due to bad association. There was but one victim like Ajamil in those days, but in this age of Kali, poor innocent students are daily victims of cinemas which attract men only for sex indulgence. The so-called administrators are all untrained in the affairs of a Kshatriya. The Kshatriyas are meant for administration, as the Brahmanas are meant for knowledge and guidance. The word Kshatra Bandhu refers to the so-called administrators or person promoted to the post of administrator without proper training by culture and tradition. Nowadays, they are promoted to such exalted posts by hordes of people who are themselves fallen in the rules and regulation of life. How can such people select a proper man when they are themselves fallen in standard of life? Therefore, by influence of the age of Kali, everywhere, politically, socially, or religiously, everything is topsy-turvy, and therefore, for the sane it is all regrettable. The activities of the Lord include liberation, but they are more relishable than the pleasure derived from nirvana or liberation. According to Srila Goswami and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, the word used here is nirvana vilambitani, that which minimizes the value of liberation. To attain nirvana liberation, one has to undergo a severe type of tapasya, austerity, but the Lord is so merciful that he incarnates to diminish the burden of the earth. Simply by remembering such activities, one can defy the pleasure derived from nirvana and reach the transcendental abode of the Lord to associate with him, eternally engaged in his blissful, loving service. By the grace of the world, each and every planet is created fully equipped, so not only in this earth, fully equipped with all the riches for the maintenance of its inhabitants, but also when Lord descend to earth, the earth, whole earth becomes so enriched with all kinds of opulences that even denizens of heaven worship it with all affection. But by the will of the Lord, whole earth we can at once be changed. He can do and undo a thing by his sweet will. Therefore, no one should consider himself to be self-sufficient or independent of the Lord. ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुर्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवान् च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजन सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान सगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांच नमो ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिने इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे वांछा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण। Today we continuing Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, chapter 16. We try to understand shloka number 22 to 24. Here they're describing about the so-called administrators, how they are, and Dharma asking Prithvi, means cow, about why she disturbed, why she she are lamenting for this disorder. Then the activities of the Lord include liberation, but they are more relishable and pleasure derived from the nirvana that described. And again, they describe about the grace of the Lord. Each and every planet is created fully equipped. Prabhuji will tell us in detail. Hare Krishna. Mancha Kalpa.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So our journey continues, and we continue to study the Bhagavatam further. And as we were discussing, Bhul, who is Dharmaraj himself, is asking queries to Mother Earth, who is in the form of a cow. So he wants to answer. Now he understood that the administrators have been bewildered because of Kali. And so there is complete disorder in the way the state is handled. Even general population, they are not following rules for the Ahar, Nidra, Abhay, Maithuna. And so they are doing activities anytime, anywhere, any place. Krishna, who was there, who had come to unload the earth of the heavy burden, he had completed his activities and he had also gone. Now his activities were transcendental. and anyone who hears them can cement the path of liberation. But because of absence of Krishna, maybe Mother Earth was thinking about it and feeling sorry. Or Earth, as we all know, is a reservoir of all riches. Purnamidam, Purnamadaha, Purnat, Purnamudachyate. So this is the invocation shloka of Īśopaniṣad. So anything created by God is complete. Similarly, Earth is also complete. So Dharma is inquiring that in spite of that, what is the root cause of the tribulations? Because of which you have been reduced to such a weak state. Now, Kala has a very powerful influence. So maybe it has been so powerful that it has conquered and forcibly taken away all the fortune of the earth. Now, Earth's fortune was something which was even adored by the demigods. So, all this is being inquired by Dharmaraj. And we are so lucky, we are understanding all these aspects in spite of being in Kali Yuga because of the Grantha Avatar of Lord Krishna, which is Srimad Bhagavatam. Prabhupada ji, when he starts discussions on this shloka, he highlights the importance of Srimad Bhagavatam, that Dharmaraj is asking these questions not because he wants to ask, it is for us to understand how Kali Yuga is going to become more and more troublesome. So the essence of complete knowledge is there. And that is why in the first canto, first chapter, third verse, we read, Nigamakalpataroho galitam phalamidam. So it is stated that what is Srimad Bhagavatam? Nigama kalpatara. Nigama means Vedas. It is just like the kalpataru, desire tree of the Vedas. So all the knowledge is there. Practically speaking, when it comes to the necessities of life, like eating, sleeping, fearing, mating, those necessities for humans are as good as those are which are for lower animals. But then the human is supposed to be fulfilling the necessities and the desires, not like animals, but like human beings. So what does it mean? It means there are some rules and regulations, even for fulfilling small demands. So animal plus rules and regulation is equal to human. So if those rules and regulations are not followed, then we are only animals. This is exactly what is happening in the Kali Yuga. Because of the influence of Kali, there is deterioration of social and moral codes. And that is something which really is lamentable. Because due to that, there are ghastly and beastly effects which the animals are made to suffer. And these effects are only going to keep on increasing. In the purport, Prabhupada gives the example of Ajamil. Prabhupada gives explains about how the deterioration is happening, and in the lecture he gives the example of Ajamil. You all know the story. Just because of some vision, he fell down and became a wretched person while he was a pure Brahman. This was all due to bad association. Now, this is one victim like Ajamil in those days. But now, innocent students are daily victims because of the social media. This is going to keep on increasing, which is very, very fearful for the normal well-being of everyone. Kshatriyas are meant for administration, Brahmanas for knowledge and guidance. But then, both of them are not doing their activities. And that is why Vedas speak about Kshatrabandhus, means administrators or persons who are working on that position without training of culture and tradition. So people are electing those, and who are electing? Who are already fallen in the life, who are not following rules and regulations. So how can they select proper persons? It's not at all possible. And by the influence of Kali, everywhere we see, politically, socially, religiously, everything is topsy-turvy. And so the whole situation is unpredictable. And that is why Prabhupada says that once we understand these questions here, which Dharmaraj is asking, we need to also understand how to overcome them. And he says the best way to overcome is to approach a spiritual master. And then we can be guided appropriately. Vyavasayatmika buddhi means to take the words of the spiritual master as life and soul. That is Vyavasaya. So, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he used to say, whatever I am ordered by the spiritual master, that is my life and soul. I don't care for mukti, bhukti, anything. My only work is to serve my spiritual master. That's all. This exactly is the Krishna consciousness process. To depend on Krishna. But depend does not mean that we remain idle. No, depend means to work according to the direction of the Shastra. Sadhu, Shastra, Guru, Vakya, Tine te kariya aikya. Niruttam Das Thakurji has sung this song so beautiful. And in fact, Krishna also orders us the same thing. He himself says in Bhagavad Gita to Krishna, Yudhyasya mam anusmara. Fighting you have to do, but you always think of it. That is success. Not that depend on Krishna means, oh, I don't have to fight. No, you have to. That is the real knowledge, which unfortunately, because of the effects of Kali, no one is able to have. And this is going to become more and more bad. In fact, it is mentioned that the scarcity of rain is going to increase, will not be able to produce food, and even government will give some morsel of food and levy taxes. Durbhikshakara piditai. Disturb. Yasyanti giri kananam. Achinna dar dravina yasyanti giri kananam. And being disgusted, everyone will give up their family and children and they will go to the forest or the hills. So, no more food grains. These will be finished. So, very, very bad days are awaiting in this Kali Yuga. Therefore, it is our duty to finish our responsibility of transcending the material world and go back to home, back to Godhead right now. And we are so very lucky that Srila Prabhupada has created this system for us. Dharmaraj is suggesting so many things. My Mother Earth in the shape of a cow was morose. So one of the things he is suggesting is Krishna was present, now he is not present. Therefore, you are so morose. Now Krishna says, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyutthanam dharmasya tadatmanam sujamyaham. So Krishna incarnates when there is discrepancies in the matter of discharging religious principles. And then, once his work is over, he goes back. Now, but that does not mean that when we know these facts and we are engaged in this material body, we should forget our real purpose. Our real purpose is meant for serving Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Jivera Swarupa hai Nitya Krishna Dasa. Our real identity is to serve, to remain under the protection of Krishna. Krishna says he's allowing us. All right, you have come here. Try to satisfy yourself, but there are certain rules and regulations. If you break those rules and regulations, then Krishna takes the measures. And hopefully we don't have to suffer those measures which Krishna takes. Because we are not supposed to be doing. We are supposed to be going back home, back to Godhead, and serve Krishna. Those who forget it, they remain engaged and they have to perpetually transcend one material body after another material body after another material body and continuously janma mrityu jara. So here it is mentioned that those who are trying to be very, very big by material possessions, they'll all be finished. But if we remain in the position of Prahlad, we'll never be finished. The activities of the Lord include liberation, but the activities themselves are more pleasurable. Now see, Hiranyakashipu, he was having everything, but he was finished. Prahlad Maharaj remained because he was a Bhakta. This is what is important. Till Jiva Goswami ji, Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur ji, regarding the word nirvana vilambetani, they mention that which minimizes the value of liberation. So ideally people want nirvana, liberation. And for that we have to do a lot of tapasya, austerity. But Krishna is so merciful. He comes, he diminishes the burden of the world. There is so many leelas which he is doing. So simply by remembering such activities, we can defy the pleasure derived from nirvana and reach the transcendental abode and associate with him, eternally engaged in blissful loving service. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. This is what we have to understand and remember. Continuously remembering, continuously working here is foolishness. Prahlad Maharaj never considered that. Abodh Jata. He has asked us to become Buddhiman. And from when? Kaumaram. Right from the age of childhood. You have to understand Krishna. Janma karma cha me divyam yo janati tattvataha tattvadeham punarjanma nayati mameti kaunteya. Here another aspect which comes is kalein, which means by the time. So in the Bhagavad Gita, there is clearly mentioned by Krishna, Sa kalena yoga nashta parantapaha. The time is very powerful and it is eternal. So by grace of Lord, each and every planet is created fully equipped. It's not that only Earth is equipped. It has got lots of riches, whereby it can maintain the inhabitants. And when there are problems, Krishna descends. And when Krishna repents, then the earth becomes more enriched, more opulences. And because of that, the demigods also, they want to remember earth, they want to come to earth. But the same thing, by the will of the Lord, can be changed within seconds. He can do and undo things by his own sweet will. Therefore, we should never consider ourselves to be self-sufficient or independent of the Lord. Anyone who thinks so faces the results as by Hiranyakashipu. Madhyakshayena prakriti shruyate sacharacharam. Prakriti is there, all riches are there, everything is there on the ground. Just we are getting so many things. Trees, plants, foodstuff, minerals, so many things. So time and earth and everyone is abiding by Lord, by the orders of the Lord. Aham sarvasya prabho matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam bodha bhava samanita. So those who are trying to be very, very big by material possessions, they'll all be finished. But if we remember and serve Krishna like Prahlad Maharaj, then there is an opportunity for us to transcend this material desires. And that is exactly what we need to understand when we go through these three shlokas. The learning for us is forget future. Right now is the right time to rightly go back home, back to God. So don't wait for tomorrow. Tomorrow never comes. Thank you very much.